So, hi everybody. This time we have asked some questions from students who are already in PhD in AIIMS Delhi. So we met them and we asked some questions about them. So it wasn't kind of a video interview; it just was like just a general meetup. So I created this video especially for physiology for students who are preparing for physiology. So let's start. So what we will be covering in this whole video would consist of how many seats are there actually, how many projects are happening in the physiology department, so what they have asked for, and about the department itself, syllabus and tips for exam interviews. So let's start then. So seats, this time they are offering around 7 seats, which consist of total of 14 seats, which of 7 with their own fellowship and 7 where the students will get fellowship from the AIIMS itself. So total 14 seats. So it's a good number of 14 seats. So the projects now I'm telling, so these projects have been listed in the prospectus. So I have picked up only those projects. So the rationale behind why I'm covering these projects is to get to know about the activities they are doing. So let's start with this one project. So they are doing effect of nostril breathing. So it relates to yoga and depressive, so neuropsychiatry. So it also help you to what do you I want to say is like focus on the topics which are essentially provided in the project. So you have to focus on the neuro part also. So you have to cover at least neuro part now. It's also covering effect of long-term exercise on synaptic abnormality in sleep-derived Alzheimer. So this consists of neuro ka topic and long-term exercise. So this is like the muscular part, musculoskeletal system, and also consists of respiration. So, and now to study the efficacy of irisin and leptin supplement in treatment of sleep deprivation. So, it's also like the leptin supplement, it also consists of neuro only. Another is to study the protective effect of antioxidant vitamin C and D to metabolism and how oxidants and antioxidants polluted microenvironment induced testicular injury in laboratory rat. So, testicular injury. So, it's also covering the reproductive part. Another is thing the assessment of cognitive function. So cognitive function, neurophysiology totally, breast cancer. So you have to also read about some how so metabolism in cancer becomes an important thing here to read about ki how cancer metabolism different from normal metabolism and how different type of techniques or what do you say? Let me think about ki uh, like uh, FDZ, fluorodeoxyglucose is used in to determine the regions of high activity. So you have to read about FDZ now. And another thing, nuclear factor kappa B activation, hypoxia and tubule factor. So this is all about ischemia changes, vascular disease. So you have to read about cardiovascular. So this is the same. This is the same. I'm covering the same project. Now this is neutrophils. So you have to read about cells altogether, what kind of cells exist in the blood and how they differ. Neutrophils. This is about pollution. If there is anything about pollution you can read from the physiology part in your MSc, please read it. So now why I'm covering about the department. So about the department, it helps in covering what kind of people are there in the department itself and how we can benefit from them. So basically it tends to know. So when you have cleared the exam and you're going for the interview, you must have knowledge about how many people are in the department, what kind of projects they are working on, so that they don't see you as a like unprepared guy or girl. So they think that you are pretty serious about your PhD subject. So it helps in that things. It also helps in pursuing your interests. So now the professor and head of department is Dr. KP Kocher. So she is working on nutrition, diet, physiology, cognitive physiology, and then Dr. Ratna Sharma. So Dr. Ratna Sharma totally works on EEG and analysis of EEG data. So all about EEG and how it affects how you correlate with the neurophysiology function. So Dr. Ratna Sharma works on it. Another is Dr. Nalin Mehta. He is also a professor. He works in molecular reproductive biology, bioethics. And if you can relate it, the mostly the projects that we saw earlier, like if they it could be if it was a reproductive physiology project, so most likely Dr. Nalin Mehta must be handling that project. Another is Dr. Suman Jain. So Dr. Suman Jain is famous for working with transcranial magnetic stimulation. So the whole TMS lab is headed by her. So she worked totally on that. Another is Dr. Jadial. Dr. Jadial work in autonomic neurophysiology, neurophysiological monitoring, and cardiovascular neurophysiology. Dr. Rajkumar works in mind, meditation, medicine, lifestyle nutrition. So I guess the project's lifestyle. So how nostril breathing affect depression. So most likely this project would be headed by Dr. Rajkumar Yadav. Another is Dr. Ranjana Talwar. She is also a professor. She deals with respiratory function. So most likely respiratory lab is handled by her only. So there's a respiratory lab in AIIMS Physiology. So she heads that lab. Another is Dr. Smita Patil. She works with pollution, health, and reproductive physiology. Dr. Enu Bhatia works with neurophysiology. Dr. Simran Kaur, stress and cognition, medical physiology. She also overlook EEG data also. Dr. Prashant T. Tayade, he works with stress and cognitive electroimaging. Dr. Deenvesh Chauhan, he also works with autonomic function. Dr. Naseem Akhtar, she works totally with neurophysiology of sleep medicine. The whole sleep lab is seen by Dr. Naseem Akhtar. Another is Dr. Kanksha. She works like Dr. Jadial, intraoperative neurophysiology monitoring, cardiovascular autonomic physiology. Another is Dr. Ritesh Kumar Netam. He is interested in yoga-based lifetime intervention in obesity, so he also sees yoga projects. Another is Dr. Gintanjali G. Bade, associate professor, and she also sees respiratory physiology. Dr. Surya Prakash, so he also works with the Department of Physiology and sees memory, intelligence, perception, consciousness. And Dr. Suman Das, assistant professor, he sees the neurophysiology basis of disease prediction. So, neurophysiology basis of disease prediction. So all these people I've mentioned, you can look up them on the website. So I've provided the link of the website. I would also provide the same link in the description itself. So now coming to the syllabus, I have already told you. I guess you must have read the prospectus itself. So most of them, all the is divided into 30 plus 40. So 30 is the aptitude, and 40 is subject specific. So for aptitude, you have to read about research methodology, research ethics, research advances, biostatistics, English, GK. I guess what I have surely made a video of it, so you can watch this video on the channel itself about aptitude exam. So these are the topics they are covering in research methodology. So please have a look at it. Another is research ethics. So please have a look at these topics. Biostat, these topics. Subject specific 40 marks. So I asked the people, so there is no previous year question paper. It's all memory based. People go and take the exam and they are like just remember the question they forget. So it happens many times. So what used to happen earlier, they used to ask medical physiology that was very much like MBBS physiology. But since most of the MBBS people don't do PhD in physiology, they shifted the syllabus to incorporate MSc physiology. So it's not much that applied physiology in medical aspect. But the I have asked people with they are doing PhD, so they tell ki the physiology covered in MSc is enough. And so what your approach should be, tips for exam, ki focus on aptitude part, mainly research methodology and biostats. Don't focus on GK. Don't because GK is so ambiguous that they can ask question from anywhere and you won't be able to answer if you focus your time. So do not focus any time on GK. Just let it be natural. Just focus on aptitude part and also focus on subject specific part. So in this case, it's MSc Physiology. So believe your college syllabus. Do the books that the standard books are in. So in MBBS, I know what are the standard books we used to read. Ganong, Guyton, but these are very heavy books that are not meant for MSc Physiology, and you shouldn't read those books. So, for a light-hearted people, not light-hearted people, but light-hearted introduction to subject, you can read Bijlani, Dr. Bijlani. He had been HOD of the department once, Physiology. So it's a light physiology book, very much written for the undergraduate MBBS people, but it's a very good book. You will like that book. So that's all. If you have any question, please ask me in the comments or in the AIIMS PhD groups. You can join the AIIMS PhD group at Telegram, and very like we are a growing community, and many students have joined this group, and they keep on asking queries. They keep on discussing things within themselves. So thank you all.